Good evening everyone. I welcome you all to Ganesh IAS Academy. In today's session, we'll be seeing environment-based current affairs from the date February 1 to February 8, 2024. Let us get into the news articles one by one. The first news that we are going to discuss is black-necked crane. Why are black-necked cranes in news? Let us understand this in detail. The Wildlife Institute of India and the Zoological Survey of India have been carrying out assessment of the population of black-necked cranes. Okay, and according to 2016-17 assessment which was done by Wildlife Institute of India, the population size of the black-necked crane was around 66 to 69 individuals. Where, in which region? In the Ladakh region. Okay, that is where you find these black-necked cranes. And then even in Arunachal Pradesh, a small population of approximately 11 individuals arrives during the winter months. Okay, actually a question based on the habitat or the geographical location of black-necked crane was asked in one of the prelims examination of UPSC. Okay, so let us understand furthermore details about this particular news article. There are certain important steps which were taken to protect this bird species. What are all the efforts? Let us understand one by one. The first important step is that these bird species is listed in Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. So, if a bird is covered under Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, then they are accorded the highest degree of protection. This is one step taken towards the protection of this species. Next is, the species is also listed in Appendix 1 of CITES and CMS. What is CITES and CMS here? CITES is the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, and CMS is Convention on Conservation of Migratory Species. So CMS and CITES. Under both these conventions, this black-necked crane is placed in Appendix 1. Okay. What else? The important habitats of these black-necked cranes has been notified as protected areas. For example, the Changtang Sanctuary in Ladakh. Okay. So the habitats, important habitats of these black-necked cranes are notified as protected areas. So when they are notified as protected areas, they get additional protection and conservation. Okay. Next is Sokar Wetland Complex. Okay. This wetland complex is an important foraging and breeding ground for these birds, and it has been designated as Ramsar site in December 2020. So these are all the important steps which are taken towards the protection of these birds, that is black-necked crane. What else do we have to understand about black-necked crane? Certain features about black-necked crane: that they are medium-sized crane and it is native to Asia and endemic to Tibetan Plateau. So it is endemic to Tibetan Plateau. It is found only in Tibetan Plateau. Okay. Next is, it is a large wading bird with long legs and neck, and despite their lack of webbed feet, they do not have webbed feet. In spite of that, they are capable of swimming. They are excellent swimmers. Moreover, it is the only exclusively alpine species among the 15 species of cranes which are present in the world. So in the world there are 15 species of cranes present, and of this there is only one exclusively alpine species, and that is this black-necked crane. Okay, which is found in Ladakh and Arunachal regions of India. Okay. Next is, this species is found in India, China and Bhutan, and breeds in high altitude wetlands in Tibetan Plateau at elevation. So the breeding grounds is Tibetan Plateau. Okay, and they are found in India, China and Bhutan as well. Next is, a small wintering population is also found in Sangti and Zimitang Valley of Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, so a question based on this can be asked. Okay, the statement might go like this: that this black-necked crane is found only in Ladakh region of India. No, it is also found. A small wintering population is also found in Arunachal. Which valleys? Sangti and Zimitang Valley of Arunachal. Okay, so you must have to understand this very clearly. And these black-necked cranes are omnivorous in nature. Okay, so they are omnivorous. That is, they enjoy eating plant roots, tubers, snails, shrimps, and other small vertebrates and invertebrates. Okay, so they eat both vegetarian food and non-vegetarian food. Okay, and then the IUCN conservation status of this species is near threatened, and the species is revered by a particular community in Arunachal Pradesh. They are the Monpa community. Okay, they are the major Buddhist ethnic group of Arunachal Pradesh, and they are favoring this bird. Why? Because it is revered by this community as an embodiment of the 6th Dalai Lama. Okay, so that is what we need to know about this particular species, that is black-necked crane. Okay. The topic that we are going to discuss now is National Conference on Promotion of Seaweed Cultivation. Where has this national conference taken place, and what is the objective of this national conference, and what is seaweed? All these details we must have to understand. Recently, the National Conference on Promotion of Seaweed Cultivation was held in Koteshwar near Kori Creek, okay, in Kutch region of Gujarat, okay. And what is the objective or aim of this particular conference? It is to implement seaweed cultivation on a pan-India basis. So, the objective here is to implement seaweed cultivation on a pan-India basis, thus emphasizing the promotion of seaweed cultivation to diversify marine production. So, diversification of marine production and also to enhance fish farmers' income. These are the objectives of this particular national conference. Okay. So, we have to understand in greater detail about what seaweed is and where is it found in India and how is it going to help the farmers. Okay. So, let us understand all this one by one. Seaweeds, what are they? They are a form of macroscopic algae. So, they are macroscopic algae and they are a primitive type of plant lacking roots, stems and leaves. So, they do not have well defined roots, stems and leaves. Okay, and they are primitive type of plant and they are macroscopic algae. Okay, and these seaweeds are found mostly in intertidal regions. So, where are they found? This is also important. Okay, questions based on this may be asked. So, they are found mostly on intertidal regions and they are also found in deep water and shallow water. Okay. Moreover, they are also found in estuaries and backwaters. So, estuaries and backwaters, deep waters, shallow waters and also intertidal regions. In all these regions, you can find seaweed. Okay. And large seaweeds form dense underwater forest called as kelp forest. Okay, and these kelp forests act as underwater nurseries for these animals like these marine organisms like fish, snail and sea urchins. Okay, and seaweeds are recognized in 4 groups. 4 categories of seaweeds are there, 4 types of seaweeds are there. Okay, and it is based on the color, the pigmentation here. Okay, so it is based on the pigments. So they are chlorophyta. Chlorophyta is green color algae, phaeophyta which is brown algae, and rhodophyta red algae, and then the last one blue algae. So there is green, brown, red and blue algae. These are all the different types of seaweed that we know. Okay. So this is how they look. This is the variety of seaweeds that is found. You can observe that some are green in color, some are red in color, some are brown, some are blue. Okay. So these are all the different types of seaweed that we have. Next is, what are all the major seaweed beds in India? Where do we find seaweeds? Okay, where can it be cultivated? This we need to know. Abundant seaweed sources resources are found along Tamil Nadu and Gujarat coast. So the major locations here are Tamil Nadu and Gujarat coast. Moreover, it is also found in Lakshadweep and Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Okay, and then notable seaweed beds also exist around the regions like Mumbai, Ratnagiri, Goa, Karwar, Varkala, Vizhinjam, Pulicat and Chilka of Odisha. Okay, so in all these regions you can find seaweed beds, and this is how they cultivate seaweed. Okay, and then India boasts approximately 844 reported seaweed species in its seas, and especially Gulf of Mannar is it is home to more than 240 seaweed varieties, out of which at least 185 are edible ones. Okay, of the 240 seaweed varieties found in the regions near Gulf of Mannar, 185 are edible ones, and in India we have 844 reported seaweed species. Okay, so this is what we need to understand from this topic, that is major seaweed beds in India. What else do we have to know from seaweeds? What are all the importance of seaweeds, significance of seaweeds, why are they used for? All these details we need to know, because application oriented questions are also asked in UPSC prelims examination, and this can be a potential question in your mains examination also. Okay, so seaweeds are bioindicators. What is bioindicators? They are bioindicators by absorbing excess nutrients. So by absorbing excess nutrients, they are indicating something, that they are present. Okay, so if their presence is indicated by a change that is happening in an ecosystem, such organisms are called as bioindicators. So the change here is they are going to absorb excess nutrients. Okay, so they are bioindicators by absorbing excess nutrients, and they play a vital role in restoring the ecosystem balance. Okay, so when there is excess nutrients, generally algal bloom happens. Okay, and that is avoided because of these plants. Okay, these algae. Next is seaweed is a nutritional powerhouse. So this is where the application comes, their uses, benefits comes. Okay, so they are nutritional powerhouse, which is rich in vitamins, minerals and dietary fiber, and it is used in various food products from sushi, salads, snacks and even thickeners. Okay, next is many seaweeds contain anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial properties, and seaweed is the best source of iodine. So they are source of iodine, they have anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial properties, and they are nutritional powerhouse. That is because they contain vitamins, minerals and other dietary fibers. Okay, and they are also bioindicators. What other applications do they have? Seaweed extracts are used in wide range of products like cosmetics, pharmaceuticals and bioplastics, and one best example here is National Institute of Ocean Technology has developed a bioplastic film which is made using marine seaweed and PEG 3000, and this can be used as a bioplastic, okay, which could have a huge impact on limiting the usage of non-biodegradable plastic, and it can be a game changer in the plastic industry also in future. Okay, next is they are also capable of capturing carbon. How? These seaweeds absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere as it grows, making it a potential tool in fighting against climate change. Okay, to fight against climate change, carbon dioxide has to be absorbed or sequestered. Okay, and that is done by these seaweeds. Next is livelihoods. It is also going to help livelihood. How? By seaweed farming. Okay, it provides income and it empowers coastal communities, particularly women and small scale farmers. And see this point, that it requires minimum investment, but the returns are very quick. It offers relatively quick returns, but the investment is very little. Okay, so this is how it is going to help in the livelihood of the people who are dependent on these seaweeds. Okay, so this is what we need to know from this topic, and these seaweeds are also termed as medical food of the 21st century. That is because of its yet another application. What it is, that they are being used as laxative, and they are used in making pharmaceutical capsules. They are used in treatment of goiter. What is goiter here? A disease which is caused because of the deficiency of iodine. Okay, goiter. And they are also used in the treatment of cancer and in bone replacement therapy, as well as in cardiovascular surgeries. So because of these many medical applications, it is called as medical food of the 21st century. Okay, and then agar, which is obtained from a seaweed. Okay, agar is obtained from red algae, and it is used as thickening and gelling agent in jellies, puddings and jams, whereas alginate, it is yet another compound which is obtained from another seaweed. Which one? From the brown algae, and it is used as thickener and stabilizer in ice cream, sauces and dressings. Okay, so these are all the applications of seaweed. So what are all the initiatives that has been taken by the government of India to promote seaweed cultivation? That we need to know. One is this conference. Okay, from the conference only we arrived here. So the next one is Seaweed Mission. It aims to commercialize seaweed farming and also processing. Why processing? For adding value to the products. Okay, and then it also aims to increase cultivation along the entire coastline of India. The 7,500 kilometer length of coastline has to be covered. And then commercialization of seaweed products. Okay, this particular institute, that is Indian Council of Agricultural Research, Central Marine Fisheries Research Institute. This institute has successfully commercialized 2 seaweed based nutraceutical products. Okay, what are they? It is Cattlemin TM-IME and then Cattlemin TM-ACE. Okay, these are all the products, and these products which were developed with eco-friendly green technology. They are developed with eco-friendly green technology, and it is, what is the use of this product? That it will boost antiviral immunity and combat high cholesterol, also called as dyslipidemia. Lipid means fat. Okay, so high cholesterol here is dyslipidemia, that is imbalance of cholesterol. Okay, and multi-purpose seaweed park was also established in Tamil Nadu. So these are all the initiatives taken by the government of India to promote seaweed cultivation. Okay, so these are all the details which we need to know about this, and this is important, that there is a distinction between seaweed and seagrass. What is the difference between seaweed and seagrass? You should not get confused between these two terms. They are two different organisms. Okay, two different plants. Okay, one is a well-defined plant, another is a primitive plant. Let us understand the difference. Seagrass is a marine flowering plant. So seagrass is a flowering plant which is true vascular plant. Vascular plant means it will be having well-defined roots, stem, leaf and other things. Okay, see here it has true stems, roots, leaves. Furthermore, seagrass produces fruits and seeds, unlike seaweeds. Seaweeds do not produce fruits and seeds. Okay, so this is seaweed, algae part, different types of seaweed, and this is seagrass. See, you can find flowers, well-defined roots, stem, leaf and other things. Okay, so seagrass is different from seaweed. This must be very clear. Okay, so with this we have come to end of this particular topic, that is Seaweed, National Conference for Promotion of Seaweed Cultivation. The topic that we are going to discuss now is acid rain as its origins in fossil fuels. Okay, so here this was a news article in the Hindu paper. Okay, so we have to understand about acid rains here from exam perspective. Okay, so what acid rain is? So acid rain is a rain with high levels of acidic substances. So what are all the acidic substances here? Sulfuric acid and nitric acid. A question based on this also was asked in one of the previous year questions in prelims of UPSC. Okay, so they have asked the source of acid rain. Okay, So it forms when emissions of sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides released from burning fossil fuel, industries and other human activities, when they mix, I mean when sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide mix with water vapor and chemicals in the air, then they form acid rain. Okay, nitric acid and sulfuric acid is formed, and that is how acid rain is happening. Okay, and these acidic pollutants combine with water droplets in the atmosphere and then fall to the ground as rain, snow, fog and even dry particles. Okay, so here we'll be classifying acid rain into two, which we'll see later. And the pH of acid rain is usually between 4.2 to 4.4. Generally, rain has a pH of around 5.6. 5.6, approximately 5.6 is the pH of rainwater. But then see here, the pH of acid rain is 4.2 and 4.2 to 4.4, which is acidic in the scale. I hope you know the basics of the pH scale. From 0 to 7 it is acidic, 7 is neutral, and from 7 to 14 it is basic or alkaline. Okay. Now, what are all the causes of acid rain? Fossil fuel combustion is one main cause of acid rain. So, burning fossil fuels, particularly those containing sulfur, releases sulfur dioxide, and when we burn fossil fuels at higher temperatures, then nitrogen oxides are released. Okay, so these are all the fossil fuel combustion based sources of acid rain, and there are certain natural sources also like volcanic eruptions, lighting, which will also contribute to the presence of sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides in the atmosphere. Moreover, there are also certain air pollution which will trigger the formation of nitrous oxide and nitrogen oxides. Okay, so in atmosphere, the pollutants SO2 and nitrogen oxides undergo chemical reactions forming sulfuric and nitric acids. Okay, and this point here is important, that when combined with water vapor they create acid rain during precipitation. So when these gases combine with water, then they form acid rain. Okay. Next is, what are all the effects of acid rain on environment? How it is going to affect, the consequences of acid rain. So what are all its impact on vegetation? That acid rain leaches nutrients, weakens plants and reduces water absorption capability, and even it leads to stunted growth of the plants. Thus it leads to reduced crop yields and even plant fatalities. The plants may die here. Okay. Next is aquatic ecosystem, its impact on aquatic ecosystem. Acid rain lowers the pH of water bodies. Obviously, lowering pH is acidic, right? So it lowers the pH of water bodies and it harms aquatic life by damaging gills of the animals, the fishes. Okay, and it also reduces reproduction rate and altering the food availability of the aquatic ecosystem. Okay, that is because many marine organisms or aquatic organisms will die. Okay, and thus there is change in food availability. Okay, lack of food availability. Next is soil. How is it going to impact soil? Acid rain can disrupt soil chemistry by leaching away essential nutrients like calcium and magnesium. These nutrients are essential for the plant's growth. Okay, but these are leached away by acid rain, and it can also release certain toxic metals like aluminium from soil, further damaging plants and aquatic life. Okay, this aluminium is actually present in clayey soil, but they are present in a bounded form, but this acid rain will leach it out, will release aluminium alone, and when aluminium is released, then it damages plants and other aquatic life forms when it goes as runoff. Next is impact on physical infrastructures. Physical infrastructures are also impacted here. It is not only aquatic ecosystem or soil or vegetation, it is also certain physical infrastructure, that is buildings and all. Okay, by causing deterioration and discoloration. One best example here is Taj Mahal. Okay, now the Taj Mahal's color has become dull. It has become yellowish, but actually it is whitish marble, right? But now because of acid rain in those regions, in the Yamuna regions, it has become, it is getting this yellow tint. Okay, Next is, what are all the different types of acid deposition? There are two types. One is dry deposition, another is wet deposition. First, let us discuss wet deposition. If the acid chemicals in the air are blown into areas where weather is wet, then the acid can fall to the ground in the form of rain, snow, fog, or even mist. Okay, and this acidic water flows over and through the ground, and it affects variety of plants and animals. Anyway, it is going to affect plants and animals when it flows through the ground. Okay, next is dry deposition. In areas where the weather is dry, here the weather has to be wet, here the weather has to be dry. That is the simple requirement. And the acid chemicals may become incorporated into the dust and smoke. Here it is getting mixed with water, but here it is getting incorporated into dust and smoke and then fall to the ground through dry deposition, thus sticking to the ground buildings and vegetations and even other materials here. Okay, so dry deposited gas and particles can be washed from the surfaces by rainstorm through runoff. Again, this will happen, it will get to experience water. Okay, so these dry deposited gases and particles can be washed from the surfaces, from these surfaces of ground, building, vegetation and cars, okay, and other materials, okay, on the surfaces of these materials by rainstorm, and this runoff water makes the resulting mixture more acidic. Okay, so these are all the two different forms of acid deposition through this route, that is acid rain route. So this is how it happens. Sulfur dioxide, nitrous oxide are released. Okay, I mean hydrogen oxides are released and they are moved to certain altitude, and then when they come in contact with water, wet deposition happens. If not, dry deposition happens. Okay, when they are incorporated with dust and other things, particulate matter present in the atmosphere, then dry deposition happens. If they encounter water, then wet deposition happens. So here we need to understand what is the chemistry happening there. Okay, so let us understand that here very clearly. Chemistry of acid rain. Sunlight stimulates the formation of photooxidants such as ozone in the atmosphere. Okay, so sunlight will stimulate the formation of certain photooxidants. The best example here is ozone. Okay, and these photooxidants will interact with the oxides of sulfur and nitrogen and even other gases like ammonia, thus producing nitric acid and sulfuric acid by oxidation process. So the basic process that is involved here is oxidation process, and acid rain containing ions of sulfate, nitrate, ammonium and hydrogen fall as wet deposits. So this is how wet deposition happens and the chemistry behind wet deposition. Sulfur dioxide is there, it is reacting with oxygen, SO3, and then further reaction with water, it will give sulfuric acid, and then similarly nitric acid route. Okay, so these are all the routes in which the acid rain is happening. Okay, I hope this is clear. So with this we have come to end of this topic, that is acid rain. The topic that we are going to discuss now is World Wetlands Day. When is World Wetlands Day celebrated and what is the theme for this year 2024? Let us understand that. World Wetlands Day is observed on 2nd February every year worldwide. Why? What is the significance of this day? It is to commemorate the signing of the Ramsar Convention on Wetlands of International Importance, which was done in the year 1971. To commemorate that day, this day, that is 2nd February, is observed as World Wetlands Day. Okay, and India is party to this convention since 1982. Okay, such statements are also important. Okay, in UPSC they'll ask, I mean, if there is a question about a particular convention, you might encounter a statement which says that whether India is a party to this convention or not, or India is a signatory to this convention or not. Okay, so it is important to know this point also. Next is, on the eve of this year's World Wetland Day, that is 2024 World Wetland Day, India has increased its tally of Ramsar sites, that is wetland of international importance, to 80. Earlier we had 75. Okay, for the past 1 year we had 75 Ramsar sites, and now it has been increased to 80 by designating 5 more wetlands as Ramsar sites. And with the addition of these 5 wetlands, the total area which is covered under the Ramsar sites in India has increased to 1.33 million hectares. Okay, and then the theme for this year is wetlands and human well-being. How wetlands are going to be, how are they going to serve human well-being? That is what is the theme for this year, which underscores the critical role that the wetland plays in enhancing our lives. Okay, what else do we have to understand? We need to know what are all these 5 newly added sites. Okay, a question based on that may be asked. So the new sites here are these. Okay, 3 from Karnataka and 2 from Tamil Nadu. What are the 3 from Karnataka? It is Ankasamudra Bird Conservation Reserve. The next one is Aganashini Estuary, and then Magadi Kere Conservation Reserve. All these 3 in Karnataka. In Tamil Nadu, we have Karaivetti Bird Sanctuary, Longwood Shola Reserve Forest. These 2 are from Tamil Nadu. So 3 plus 2, 5 newly added. Okay, so the total number is 80 now. Okay, and then this point is important, that Tamil Nadu continues to be having the maximum number of Ramsar sites in India. Okay, how many are there in Tamil Nadu? 16 is present in Tamil Nadu, and then the next one is Uttar Pradesh with 10 sites. Okay, so Tamil Nadu has 16 sites and Uttar Pradesh has 10 sites, the first 2 positions in the number of Ramsar sites that they have. Okay, so with this we have come to end of this particular topic. The topic that we are going to discuss now is Indian grey wolf. Why is Indian grey wolf in news? Let us understand. Recently, Indian grey wolf was sighted in the confines of Chambal Sanctuary, National Chambal Sanctuary in Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so the last sighting of this grey wolf was reported during Operation Bhedia, that is Operation Wolf, which was carried out between 1997 and 2000 to map the canines, Indian grey wolf's footprint in the Chambal region. Okay, so here from exam perspective, what do we have to understand is, we need to know details about Indian grey wolf and where was it found recently in Chambal in Chambal Sanctuary. So we need to know few details about the Chambal Sanctuary also. Okay, so the scientific name of this Indian grey wolf is Canis lupus pallips. Okay, and then the conservation status, this is important. Under IUCN, it is placed as least concerned animal. Okay, next is the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. It gives protection under Schedule 1, which means highest protection, highest degree of protection is accorded to this animal, that is Indian grey wolf. Moreover, under CITES, it is placed in Appendix 1. Again, highest protection under CITES. Okay, international trade of this species is restricted. That is what it means. Okay, if it is placed in Appendix 1 of CITES. Okay, CITES, I hope you know what CITES is. Convention on International Trade of Wild Species of Flora and Fauna. That is CITES. Okay, next is National Chambal Sanctuary. We need to know about the sanctuary also. So whenever we study about a particular species in news, then we will also relate it to the region where it was found, and the region related information is also gathered, okay, from exam perspective. So it was set up in the year 1979. This Chambal Sanctuary was set up in the year 1979 as a riverine sanctuary along the Chambal River. And then it stretches along the Chambal river near the tri-point of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. Actually, this sanctuary is located at the tri-point of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. Okay, and then this sanctuary is listed as important bird area, and it is also a proposed Ramsar site. Okay, so these are all the details which we need to know about this Indian grey wolf and the location where it was recently found. Okay, so with this we have come to end of today's session. I hope you found the session to be very useful and informative. Let us see in the next session. Thank you all.